This is D, and Let's Stress for Life. That's what's up. The De-Stress staff was having a team building event today, and we ran across a news article, and it was talking about death while walking or death by walking, saying that pedestrian deaths have hit an all-time high, or excuse me, a 30-year high. And they were talking about some of the reasons, and before they even talked about some of the reasons, we at De-Stress were wondering ourselves, and we just began talking amongst ourselves. And someone said that she thought the reason why there may be so many more pedestrian deaths is because of distracted driving. And somebody else said, well, maybe it's because of impaired driving. And then somebody said that if you look at some of these country roads that people have to walk on, there's no sidewalk, and not only is there no sidewalk, but at the end of the pavement, the sometimes the roads curve downward into like a ditch or into a ravine. And it was interesting, some of the comments, some of the insights were even brought up in the newspaper. But one thing that was interesting also was to learn from the newspaper article that many of the deaths actually occur away from intersections. So with that being said, some of the approaches that they're talking about, some of the suggestions that they're talking about probably don't hold much water. But this article made us think about the pedestrians and the well-being of the pedestrians, because myself personally wonder if some of the deaths are actually as a result of the pedestrians. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe the pedestrians are impaired as they're walking. Am I blaming the victim? No, I'm not trying to blame the victim, but I will say the pedestrians have more to lose, so they need to be very much more careful and very much more aware of what's going on. With that being said, though, we are talking to the pedestrians. I want you to realize two things. Your safety is really everybody's responsibility. I must add the other thing, that you need to be aware that not everybody is as concerned about you as they should be. And if not everybody's as concerned as they should be, then it's up to you. You had better be the one who takes control of your life, who is committee member number one, council of one, to take care of yourself and your well-being. Now, these are three suggestions, three strategies that we think might be of benefit to you. Number one, gear up for a safe walk. Gear up for a safe journey before you even walk out of the house. How can you do that? Maybe you can actually wear a reflective type vest. If you don't want to draw that much attention to yourself, that's okay too. One thing that you can do is you can have a flashlight. Well, this is what somebody did when I was actually driving down the road. I noticed this individual that I probably would not have noticed if he hadn't had the flashlight. What he was doing, he was flashing it like towards the road, like just ahead of my vehicle. And I was able to see that flashlight moving to the left and to the right. It was very interesting. And one more thing, as we talk about gearing up, make sure that you have shoes that have good traction. You have shoes that don't have good traction, you might be slipping under the vehicle. You have shoes that have good traction, you may be able to jump away from the vehicle. Just consider. Number two, make sure that you choose the safest route. Sometimes the safest route when you're walking isn't the closest route. Sometimes you might have to walk a few steps away, maybe a few yards away. One time I was walking down the road, and I knew that if I jumped on the highway, it would be a lot quicker. I got on the highway. Fortunately, a state police officer pulled up, and allowed me to get in his vehicle, and I was able to be safe. But that doesn't happen all the time. There are countless accounts of individuals trying to take a shortcut and get killed some kind of way or another. So be careful with those shortcuts. Number 3, be on the lookout. Be aware of what's going on around you. It doesn't matter if you're walking on a wide sidewalk. Sadly, it's happened time and again. Drivers, whether they were doing it intentionally or unintentionally, drove on the sidewalk, drove at the crossing, and killed individuals. Keep yourself on the lookout. Be aware. I'm not saying live your life in a paranoid fashion, but I am saying that live your life in such a way that when you go out and you're going to point A and to point B, or you're going from point A to point B to point C, you're living in such a way that you're able to get back to point A within a reasonable time. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Also, click the notification bell. And of course, go to www.destressmethod.com as well as Facebook for more information. Well, that's all we got for now. This is D, and Less Stress for Life. That's what's up. Peace.